Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Malicious Compliance. In today's episode, in order to request time off, I must fill out a sheet directly below the schedule posted in the breaknook that all employees can see, and it asks for the reason why I need the time off. You talk too much. Wait, why are you so quiet? Because I missed the bus, I have to walk to school? So be it. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. In order to request time off, I must fill out a sheet directly below the schedule posted in the breaknook that all employees can see, and it asks for the reason why I need the time off. I don't need every single person in the company knowing my personal business, so I never filled that spot in, and was reprimanded for it and refused the time off. I was told I had to give a reason. Enter malicious compliance. I started getting very specific about completely false reasons. Random Tuesday dentist appointment? Yep. Gambling addiction counseling. That Friday I can't work because I'm just sick of this place and I need a mental health day? For sure. Testicular cancer screening. Today I was asked to stop filling in the reason box. Consulting lawyer about privacy violations in the workplace. Thank you. This is why I started the MC to begin with. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure this is a HIPAA violation. If you're in the US, you might be able to launch a hostile workplace complaint, although you'd probably want to wait until you didn't want to work there anymore before doing that. I had a boss who always asked me why I was asking for an afternoon off here and there for dental appointments, doctor appointments, bank appointments, etc. Every single time, I told him I was going to get a PAP smear done. It always made him really uncomfortable when I said it, so I just kept saying it. Cue your boss sitting at his kitchen table one day. He looks up from his newspaper and turns to his wife as he hesitantly asks, "Honey, how many pap smears do you get each year?" "Oh, just once a year, sweetheart." A tremor in his hand barely wiggles the newspaper as he looks back down. Oh. Rectal exam. Rectal exam 2, electric boogaloo. Rectal exam inception, they've got to go deeper. Rectal exam 4, in the back door. Rectal exam new horizons. Brain scan 1, new beginnings. I had a similar thing. Our time off requests needed a reason, but they were visible and reviewed by every random manager in the store. I knew my manager was comfortable with me taking mental health days occasionally, but other managers often weren't. I, a man, put down that I had gynecological appointments for every mental health day. I worked in a very small community dominated by a religious presence. The confused and very uncomfortable looks from management were worth it. My manager, who knew what was happening, just laughed and had my back. If I was having a particularly bad day and needed a break, he would tell the other management to cut me some slack because it was my time of the month and it's hard enough in this town for someone like him. If they require it again, severe menstrual cramps with heavy clotting, no matter which gender you identify with. Anal abnormality analysis. You talk too much. Wait, why are you so quiet? I originally posted this as a comment to another thread, and someone suggested this might fit here. I used to work as one of 3 assistants for the engineering/R&D department of a medical company. My desk was situated between the other 2 assistants, and we were all in the middle of a cube farm. It was problematic because everyone who had to go anywhere had to come by my desk. They would stop, say hello, and no matter how hard I tried, they'd start chatting. This of course impacted my work. After a certain point, my supervisor pulled me into an office and told me that I'm talking too much, that it's impacting my work, and to not talk so much with people. I asked her to give me a script for what to say to people, and she didn't have anything to offer. I was in counseling at the time and I asked my counselor the same question. She said to use the phrase, "I won't talk to you right now," and return to my work. I'm a bit of a people pleaser, and that's too abrupt for me. So I stopped talking to everyone. After about a week, once again my supervisor calls me into the office. She asked me what's wrong. I told her nothing was wrong. She said people are complaining that I'm being antisocial. I said, "You told me to stop talking to people, that I was talking too much, and it was impacting my work. So I did." She said, "I didn't mean it like that." Once again, I asked her to clarify exactly what I should and should not say, how much conversation was too much, and what to say when the conversation went on too long. Again, she had no response. She said, "Just don't talk too long." I returned to work. One of our lab techs was one of the chattiest and one of the worst offenders. She came by my desk one day, we exchanged greetings, and she started chatting. I quietly told her that I had gotten in trouble for talking too much, and I needed to get back to work. She respected that and walked away. I did that a few more times, and the point got made to the office. It didn't make my supervisor look particularly good because everyone knew when I said I was in trouble, what the source was, and when layoffs came sometime later, guess who was the first to go? Don't get me wrong, it was a blessing in disguise. The severance was amazing, they paid for job placement training, gave us 9 months notice, and once our termination date came, they paid us out in regular paychecks, not in the lump sum. During that time, for me, almost 3 months, I accrued vacation and sick time the whole time. They cashed it all out at the end. The week after my severance package ran out, I found a job at another division of the same company and continued for another 11 years. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. It amazes me how people like that boss get a management position without at least being able to provide guidelines for what they want in the office. Especially fun if you're neurodivergent and your boss is neurotypical and just expects you to magically know how much is too long. I was getting in trouble for talking, even got a written warning for it. The thing is, at the time, I worked for Safeway collecting the trolleys/carts. My department manager asked me, "Why is it every time I look out the window you're talking?" It was in the rulebook that we had to be polite to customers at all times. We were frequently told that we, in the car park/parking lot, were the face of the store and that we are the first and last faces the customer sees. Often, my talking was with customers whilst waiting for their trolley/cart. Customers would ask a multitude of questions, regular customers were like friends. If I ignored the customers, I would be rightly in trouble. Well, I did what I was told, I stopped talking to customers, soon the complaints built up, she, the department manager, soon backed down, removed my written warning. Lost a promotion for not talking too much. My boss put me in for one, but the department head rejected it because he didn't know me. I asked her, it was because I don't stand in the hallway gabbing like a lot of people do? She said yes. Several months later my boss became department head and I got my promotion. Reminds me of back in high school. Next to each subject there was a space where teachers could put comments on how you could improve. Mine said that I was too quiet in class for a certain subject. I think there were 1 or 2 others that got that comment from that teacher as well. The rest of the class instead got a comment that they were too chatty in class. The entire class had a good laugh about that. Because I missed the bus, I have to walk to school? So be it. Some setup of the scene. This would have been back in the mid-1970s. I was in elementary school. I don't remember what grade/age, but that school was 1st through 3rd, so I was somewhere between 5 and 8 years old, although I remember starting to dislike school because of being bullied by classmates in 2nd grade, so it was more likely 2nd or 3rd grade, age 6 to 7. I was expected to do my morning routine, get up, dressed, breakfast, and walk to the bus stop entirely on my own. The bus stop was about 500 foot or 1/10 of a mile away, and around a sharp corner at the end of the route. This meant that while there was a chance I could see the bus go by if I was running late and on my way, but because of the angles involved, there was little chance the driver could see me if I was late, so they wouldn't know to stop and wait for me. I don't remember if I was dragging my feet or just got up late that morning, but by the time I got to the bus stop that morning, it was too late. The bus had come and gone without me. In the past, when this happened, I'd sadly walk back home, tell my mother, and she'd drive me in. But for some reason, this morning, she decided that it wasn't happening. I don't know if she was trying to teach me a lesson or just had enough or what, but she told me that I had to walk. No, she wouldn't be coming with me. A young girl, about 6 or 7, walking about a 2-mile route, alone. I was terrified. There were few sidewalks, mostly just dirt paths worked into the side of the road, if that. Plus, due to elements that I now know are not good for a child to go through, by this time, I definitely had issues doing anything wrong in the eyes of adults around me, so I had this additional fear of anyone seeing me on this walk of shame. So I made sure no one saw me. If I saw any vehicle coming, I'd hide. I couldn't handle the thought of anyone witnessing this. I walked. And walked. And walked. It felt like forever, but I walked the entire way. And I finally got there and walked into the office to report my tardiness. It turns out that my mother had not intended me to actually do that. She had called the school to have someone come and meet me on the route. Not that she said anything about this to me. The bus driver had gotten back into her bus and drove the route I'd have taken, and then when she didn't see me, she then got into her personal car and did it again and again, trying to find me. Multiple people were sent out to look for me, but again, in my mind, I couldn't allow anyone to see me in this shame, plus I was old enough to know about stranger danger and was scared about that, too. I absolutely was not going to let anyone find me. I think they were actually on the phone to the police when I walked in the office door. As for fallout, I'm sorry, but I can only speculate based on other memories. My mother would have been chastised by the school for not telling me to expect someone to be looking for me to offer a ride. I would then have been punished, yelled at, spanked, grounded, because my mother could never handle being wrong, so it had to be my fault. I don't remember ever having to do it again, though. This sounds more like abused compliance than malicious. I wish that Mom had actually gotten the cops down there just so they could hear that it was really all her fault. She pretended it was your fault? Weak parenting. That reminds me of when my dad told me to get out of the car in the middle of nowhere because he was mad at me. He would always drive a bit down the road as well. I think one time I started to walk away because I thought he abandoned me. So here is this kid, no more than 5, walking the opposite direction of his parents' car. Oh BTW, I am adopted. I guess I know where my abandonment issues come from. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.